Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of the All Around Growth Podcast. My name is Rob Kaiser, and I am your host. On this morning of January 29th, 2025, I am recording Season 6, Episode 2 of a show where you join me as I build a life and homestead here on York Meadow Farm with my family, friends, and anybody else who cares to tune into the show or actually come out here to the farm and build it with us. Welcome back. In today's episode, this is going to be a very casual, brief conversation and update, including a summary of yesterday's exclusive members-only Patreon video call that we had. And it was great. These calls are always great. They're still somewhat new, and the more we do them, the better they become. And I appreciate those who joined us, Sean and Kiriki. It was a great time last night. Thank you for being there. And thanks to Rachel for being a Patreon supporter as well. If you guys want to get in on this and support the show, it would be greatly appreciated. You can do so at patreon.com/allaroundgrowth. And your support helps keep the lights on, helps pay the bills, and also gives you the ability to participate in a Telegram group that is reserved and dedicated to Patreon subscribers only. And it also gives people the ability to tune into these Patreon video calls. I'm considering changing this to a weekly format for Patreon members, to whoever can get it, and then opening up the video call on a monthly basis to the general public for anyone else that wants to join. We'll see what happens. I'm curious on your feedback. If you have any ideas or thoughts that you'd like to contribute, feel free to leave them in the comments on the Facebook page or on the Instagram page where this episode is posted, or you are also welcome to join us on Telegram at t.me/allaroundgrowth. There's a community of about 50 of us there, and anyone is welcome to chat there. That seems to be the platform where most of the activity takes place. At any rate, there was no structure, no agenda, no nothing for the call yesterday. It was just people logging into Zoom and seeing where the dialogue took us. The summary of the call was generated by the AI companion, and it helps with providing an after-action review of sorts in an episode like this. So in the Patreon exclusive call last night, we explored various exciting topics, including the potential of AI in communication, family dynamics, real estate, and more. So here's a quick recap for everybody who missed it. We explored AI's role in family and business communication. There were discussions covering how AI tools like ChatGPT can enhance communication by summarizing discussions, identifying action items, and improving clarity in complex interactions. And I shared some plans on how I, along with my family, are considering incorporating Zoom's AI companion feature for organizing family meetings, balancing business efficiency with family sentiments. And then we talked about real-life applications and challenges, and personal experiences from Sean's innovative use of AI for summarizing feedback to Kiriki's insights on navigating the real estate market. Those brought relatable challenges to light, and our small group brainstormed creative solutions like monetizing family assets for practicality and exploring modular homes for cost-effective living. And I know that some of this seems a little bit broad and vague, and that's kind of the point. I mean, we were on this call for well over an hour, so to get into the guts of what, quote, monetizing family assets for practicality means, well, that's that means you've got to join the Patreon group at patreon.com/allaroundgrowth so that you can get on these calls and see what we're talking about if any of this sounds interesting. In addition to real-life applications and challenges, we talked about the broader implications of AI and automation, delving into the ethical and practical implications of AI industries such as customer service and healthcare, the potential for bias, and concerns about losing the human touch in interactions. We also talked about financial considerations and future AI trends, and the conversations touched on AI's evolving role in industries, its financial impact, and the balance between its revolutionary potential and current limitations. And last but certainly not least, we talked about family, boundaries, and open communication. So from setting boundaries in relationships to tackling family challenges, we all talked about and emphasized the importance of transparency and collaboration in personal and professional spheres. Now, all of these engaging discussions highlight the value of community and shared insights. And like I've said, if you want to be part of these calls in the future and explore thought-provoking topics like this, or bring topics that you want to talk about to the table, then all you've got to do is become a supporter on Patreon. You can join us at patreon.com/allaroundgrowth to access exclusive content and connect with a dynamic, like-minded community. We look forward to seeing you on the next call. And that's really it in terms of the call last night. It was a great time, and it is just one of many different things that I'm trying to do with the Patreon subscription. I think that since its inception in November of 2023, I never really capitalized on it, and I never really took advantage of what that platform on Patreon had to offer, and I never really explored it too much, in large part because I was routinely overextending myself and finding myself in a position where I found it challenging to explore new things in a way that really allowed me to do it well and to take advantage of everything that they offered. I would find a new thing, I would explore the new thing, and then I would continue looking for new things to find and explore. This is the 6th season of the show, and I continue to do it and do it consistently. There have been periods of time throughout the show history where the gaps in between episodes were longer for various reasons, and there were periods of time in the show where episodes took place daily. And it's been a continual experiment of what works for me, what works for the audience, what everyone is interested in and why, and also my own particular life circumstances. This has gone from me working full-time and doing this as a hobby during the commute to me being completely self-employed and trying to navigate what that's all about and doing this on a weekly basis. And it's going to continue to change. It's going to continue to change a lot. And based on the events of this year, and we're not even one full month into the year, but it looks like there's going to be a lot of change in store for the 2025 year, and that's inevitably going to impact the show and how it's done. If you're not really sure what I'm talking about in terms of change, then I would encourage you to go back a couple of episodes and listen to an episode titled Seizures, Sheriff Encounters, and New Year Reflections, a Wild Start to 2025. And that story will... yeah, it's a podcast episode that's a story. And inside that episode, you will hear what is contributing to the change that is making me question the future of the business, the nature of the business, how everything is going to go down. And a lot of that was talked about in last week's episode titled Reflections, Relationships, and Renewal, a fresh chapter at York Meadow Farm. And that's where I read and shared a blog post that was shared with our customers, identifying and outlining what's going on so that they know what to expect as we proceed throughout the year. All being done in the name of transparency, all being done to share what's happening with everybody out there and learn how to better navigate all of this, because it's new. And I'm not really sure what I'm doing now. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And really, the thing that I'm going to do and the thing that I'm going to strive to do is continue to pray for the acceptance of God's will. There's a beautiful prayer by St. Philaret of Moscow, and it reads as follows. Lord, I know not what to ask of thee. Thou alone knowest what my true needs are. Thou lovest me more than I myself know how to love. Help me to see my needs that are concealed from me. I dare not ask for either a cross or a consolation. I can only wait on thee. My heart is open to thee. Visit and help me for thy great mercy's sake. Strike me and heal me. Cast me down and raise me up. I worship in silence thy holy will and thine inscrutable ways. I offer myself as a sacrifice to thee. I put all my trust in thee. I have no other desire than to fulfill thy will. Teach me how to pray. Pray thou thyself within me. Amen. And it's this prayer that I pray frequently. And even my prayer life has been challenging in that I don't feel as though I'm all in when I pray. And subsequently, I have decided to start reading a book that was gifted to me by my uncle, who at one point was in the seminary. He gave me a book called The Art of Prayer. The official title of the book is The Art of Prayer, an Orthodox Anthology. It is compiled by Igumen Chariton of Velamo, translated by E. Kodlubovsky and E. M. Palmer, and edited with an introduction by Timothy Ware. And the book is a collection of texts on prayer drawn from Greek and Russian sources. The spiritual teaching of the Orthodox Church appears here in its classic and traditional form, but expressed in unusually direct and vivid language. The Art of Prayer is concerned in particular with the most frequently used and best loved of all Orthodox prayers, the Jesus Prayer. It also deals with the general question, what is prayer, with the different degrees of prayer, from ordinary oral prayer to unceasing prayer of the heart, with the dangers of illusion and discouragement, and the need for seclusion and inner peace. Father Chariton, igumen, or abbot of the Russian monastery of Velamo, took his text chiefly from the letters of Bishop Theophan the Recluse, one of the greatest spiritual guides in 19th century Russia. But he used many other writers, Greek as well as Russian, and concluded with the teaching given to monks of his own community of Velamo. The book represents the fruits of careful reading of spiritual works over many years of monastic life, and it gives a fairly comprehensive record of the spiritual teaching of the Orthodox Church in its traditional monastic form. And so far, guys, I am 30 pages into this book. I am still reading the introduction, and I am tempted to share this book with you in podcast episodes from time to time, because it is helping me understand the depths of prayer, and not necessarily what I'm doing wrong, but what I can do better. And in a sense, how I can grow in my spiritual life, because that's what this is all about, all around growth. There are all these different components in life: financial, physical, personal development, family, spiritual, social, career, all of these things that we've been talking about for so long. And it's taken me years to realize and discern that none of it is really worth anything if your spiritual life is trash. You can work hard to compile a bunch of wealth in terms of finance, and you can go to the gym and make max gains and crush it physically. You can work and work and work and develop your career in such a way that you are the pinnacle of success. But if you're spiritually dead, none of it means anything. And I'm realizing that, and I'm trying to sort all of this out. And I find that reading this book is helpful. And because I find it helpful, it leads me to believe that others might find it helpful as well. So I will link to the book in the show notes, but moving forward, I may make a point to record some episodes where I simply read parts of the book to you and talk about some of those parts and how they impact me. I'm not really sure. But again, guys, this is where I'm looking to you for feedback. So if you find that interesting, then let me know in the comments. Let me know in the Telegram group, t.me/allaroundgrowth, because I'm genuinely and sincerely interested in your feedback and what you think about what is taking place with the show. With regard to the show, I do this for me, but ultimately I do it for you. My goal is that it provides value to someone, and if I can do something or share something that improves someone's life just a little bit, then I feel like I've done a good job. So with that, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for today and get prepared for the day ahead. There's a full day ahead. I look forward to getting this episode prepared and released for you whenever that happens, be it today or later this week. And I just want to take this moment and let you know that I appreciate you listening. I especially appreciate you guys on Patreon for your additional financial support. It matters. You help me do what I do, and it is sincerely appreciated. And beyond the financial support, it is the community that has developed amongst the Patreon subscribers that I genuinely value the most. So thank you for being a part of that community. And if you want to better understand what I'm talking about with that, then join us at patreon.com/allaroundgrowth. Thank you very much. God bless, and I hope you have a wonderful day.